Philip Anthony McKeon was born on November 11, 1964, in Westbury, New York, into a close-knit, grounded family that valued creativity, discipline, and emotional support. His parents, Barbara and Donald McKeon, encouraged both Philip and his younger sister Nancy to explore their talents while still prioritizing normal childhood experiences. Their home life was modest and nurturing, offering stability as Philip entered the unpredictable world of entertainment at an early age. What set Philip apart even then was his calm temperament and natural ease around adults, qualities that made him stand out without forcing attention. Despite entering show business young, he remained deeply connected to his family, especially Nancy, with whom he shared not just a sibling bond, but a parallel professional journey. This balance of encouragement and protection helped shape Philip into someone thoughtful and private, traits that stayed with him throughout his life. Early fame and growing up in the spotlight. Philip's career began before he fully understood what fame meant. Discovered through modeling auditions in New York, his expressive blue eyes and relaxed presence quickly made him a favorite in print ads and television commercials during the early 1970s. Unlike many child performers, Philip transitioned smoothly into acting because he had already learned professionalism, patience, and adaptability. He appeared in stage productions and small screen roles while still enjoying everyday childhood pleasures, including sports and friendships outside Hollywood. One memorable experience was playing Little League Baseball in Williamsport, reminding those around him that despite his rising profile, he was still very much a kid. These early years gave Philip a unique dual perspective: the discipline of a working actor and the emotional grounding of a normal upbringing. That combination would become both his strength and, later, a quiet internal challenge. Alice and the role that defined a generation. Philip McKeon's life changed permanently when he was cast as Tommy Hyatt on the CBS sitcom Alice in 1976, following a personal recommendation from Linda Lavin after she saw him perform on stage. The show became a major success, and Philip grew up in front of millions of viewers over its 9-season run. As Tommy, he brought warmth, humor, and emotional sincerity that made the character feel real rather than scripted. Audiences watched him mature from a bright child into a thoughtful teenager, creating a rare sense of continuity and connection. While the role brought fame, fan mail, and award nominations, it also fixed Philip firmly in the public imagination. That visibility was both a gift and a limitation, shaping how the industry, and sometimes Philip himself, viewed his future. Life after a beloved sitcom. When Alice ended in 1985, Philip faced a reality common to many former child stars, moving forward while being constantly compared to a past role. He continued acting with guest appearances on popular series like Chips, Fantasy Island, and The Love Boat, and took on film roles that allowed him to explore darker, more complex characters. Though none matched the cultural impact of Alice, they reflected his desire to grow beyond typecasting. Philip remained proud of his early success, but was realistic about the industry's reluctance to reimagine familiar faces. Rather than chasing visibility for its own sake, he began shifting his focus toward behind-the-scenes work, finding satisfaction in storytelling and production. This period marked a quiet but meaningful evolution from performer to creative professional. Reinvention. Behind the camera. Philip's transition into production and direction revealed another dimension of his talent. Drawing on decades of on-set experience, he worked as an assistant director and producer on films that tackled serious themes, including Where the Day Takes You. His approach behind the camera was thoughtful and collaborative, reflecting a deep respect for actors and crew alike. In 2003, He made his directorial debut with Edge of Nowhere, earning praise for its introspective tone and emotional restraint. Philip also contributed to notable productions such as Murder in the First and The Jacket, proving his ability to support complex, character-driven stories. This phase of his career brought him a quieter sense of fulfillment, removed from the pressures of fame. It allowed him to remain connected to the industry he loved while reclaiming control over his creative identity. A private man in a public world. As Philip stepped back from acting, public curiosity about his personal life grew, often fueled by speculation rather than facts. He chose not to marry and kept his private relationships out of the spotlight, a decision that reflected his deeply reserved nature. Philip never publicly discussed his romantic life or personal labels, preferring to be known for his work rather than his private choices. In an industry that often demands constant visibility, his preference for privacy was both deliberate and misunderstood. Those who knew him described him as warm, intelligent, and introspective, someone who valued meaningful connections over public approval. Philip's life serves as a reminder that choosing privacy is not a mystery to solve, but a boundary to respect, especially for those who grew up under constant public attention. The weight of early success. In the years following his passing, family members and close friends shared reflections that revealed the emotional complexity Philip carried quietly. Like many who experience fame at a young age, he wrestled internally with identity, purpose, and expectations. He was grateful for his success, but candid in private conversations about how difficult it could be to step out from a role that defined childhood. These reflections were not confessions of despair, but honest acknowledgments of pressure, self-doubt, and the challenge of reinvention. Philip cared deeply about his family, especially Nancy, expressing pride in her achievements while navigating his own path with humility. His story highlights a broader truth about child stardom. Success does not erase vulnerability, and quiet struggles often exist alongside outward stability. Family bonds and enduring loyalty. Philip's relationship with his sister Nancy remained one of the most constant and meaningful aspects of his life. They shared early auditions, career milestones, and an understanding few others could offer. While their professional paths diverged, their bond did not. Philip remained supportive of Nancy's success, and those close to them consistently emphasized the mutual respect and affection they shared. Family was not a backdrop in Philip's life. It was his anchor. He maintained close ties with his parents and valued the sense of normalcy they provided, even as his career evolved. This loyalty and emotional grounding shaped his character far more than fame ever did, reinforcing the quiet strength that defined him both on and off screen. Final years and a life lived thoughtfully. Philip McKeon passed away on December 10, 2019, in Texas at the age of 55 after a long illness. His family chose to keep details private, consistent with the way Philip lived his life. Tributes that followed focused not on speculation, but on his kindness, professionalism, and lasting impact. Colleagues remembered him as someone who listened more than he spoke, who valued integrity over attention. Fans reflected on the comfort his work brought into their homes for years. His passing marked the loss of a figure who had grown up alongside a generation, even if he later chose a quieter path. Philip's life was not defined by scandal or excess, but by steady creativity, thoughtful choices, and deep personal loyalty. A legacy of quiet impact. Philip McKeon's legacy is one of authenticity rather than spectacle. He succeeded early, adapted thoughtfully, and ultimately chose a life that balanced creativity with privacy. His journey offers an important counter-narrative to the myth that fame must be constant to be meaningful. Through acting, directing, and producing, he contributed to stories that entertained, challenged, and resonated. More importantly, he modeled a way of living that honored personal boundaries and emotional honesty. Remembering Philip McKeon means recognizing the full arc of his life, not just the child star, but the reflective adult who continued to create on his own terms. His story endures as a reminder that success is not always loud, and impact is not always measured by visibility, but by sincerity and lasting influence.